Well, good morning. I hope you've had a lovely, restful half term, and I'm going to be going through with you today what we're going to be doing for our science this week. So, again, it's another practical activity. It is an investigation, and I'm hoping you'll be able to find everything that you need in your house. So, first of all, I'll go through the paperwork side of things on the laptop. I'll show you what you need to fill in, and after I've done that, I'll go through how I would set it up at home. Okay, let's have a look at what you need to do. Right, your first challenge is a warm-up activity. So we know in science, a lot of what we do is all about learning facts. However, a huge part of science is how well we can think. So this one is all designed to make you think. So this is my whole object. So here I have an eagle. And that whole object, that eagle, is made up of several things. So there's some laid out here for you. So there's a tail, there's claws. I've got some other ideas over here if you really can't think of other things that make up an eagle. And I'm going to think what would happen if that particular thing wasn't there. Okay, so the example that's been done here for you, the whole object is the eagle, the part of the object is the tail. What would happen if that tail was missing? It couldn't balance in the air. So if it had no legs, for example, so I'd put my parts here, legs, what would happen? It would fall over. And we would all laugh at the poor eagle, poor legless eagle. Okay, so that is your first thing I want you to do. That shouldn't take very long. It's a quick 5-minute activity that should warm your brain up, ready for the rest of your science, which is down here. So today, our investigation is, does the height of the slope affect the distance a car or tin travels? Okay, that is the question that we're going to be trying to answer today. So the first part of that I've put here for you is, how am I going to make this test fair? So I've got several options here. You need to decide which of those is going to stay the same and which is the one thing. Remember, to make a fair test, we only change one thing. What's the one thing on this investigation that needs to change if I'm seeing how the height of a slope affects the distance that the car or the tin travels? When I've decided on that, I'm going to do a method. Now, I don't mind how you do this. If you would like to, you could actually draw what your investigation looks like and just label it. So say, here is my slope, here is my car, here is the runoff, and I will measure it using a tape measure or whatever. If you would rather write that as a method, like you would get more like a recipe, then you can do. I really don't mind, it's entirely up to you. And then this bit here is your prediction. So your prediction is all about what you think will happen. So will it travel further or less far the steeper the slope goes? And why do you think that? Very important, the why, because it shows, like I said, the science thinking. I've done a table here for your results. Now at home, obviously, the height of your slope is going to be difficult to measure, and the distance travelled is going to be difficult to measure if you don't have anything to measure it with. You can check your dad's toolbox, see if there's got a tape measure in there. I'm sure you've got rulers. Otherwise, you can just do a comparative measure. So you might be able to, if you were going to do that on a table, you might mark out on your table where each car finished at the different height of slope, and then you'll be able to visually see which one travelled further. So if you want to get rid of that, that's fine, and put in a photograph if that is how it's going to work easier for you. And then finally, your conclusion. So what have you found out? So if you go back to the initial question, which was, does the height of the slope affect the distance the car or tin travels? You should, at that point, be able to answer that question from what you have found out. So that is the actual writing. I will go through with you now the things that you will need to be able to set that up. Okay, so this is what I've set up. I'm going to be using this A4 ring binder as my slope. Now, I could use other things. If you've got a bike ramp, you could use that, or if you've got just a piece of wood that you could use, or a strong bit of cardboard would be absolutely fine. But if not, I thought everybody, or most people, would probably have something like this in their house. And then over here, I have my tape measure that I just took out the toolbox. I have a car, which I'd use. And if you don't have a car, you could also use a tin. So you've got your bog standard tin of beans there. So what I need to do is I need to be changing the height of this. Now, if you're at home, I think the easiest way of probably doing that is to put things underneath this slope. So I'd probably use something like books. Okay, when I'm doing that, I am then, let me get my car, going to put my car at the top of the ramp, take a note of the height of my slope, let the car roll, so you can see it's gone all the way over there. Use my tape measure, and I'm going to measure from the back of the car all the way to back to the folder and take that as my measurement. You might want to do that on the floor if you've got a little bit more room, because my kitchen table doesn't appear to be quite long enough to be able to do that. Okay, I really hope that all made some sort of sense. Very, very quick whistle-stop tour of what we're doing today. We are going to be doing something similar next week, so it will be the same sort of resources that you are going to need next week. And obviously, I will change the height of my slope, and I will repeat my investigation. I will put the car down there several times at different heights of slope and see what happens. Anyway, I hope that you have lots of fun doing this, and try not to make too much mess. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.